All right, let's dive into one of Spain's absolute superstars in the wine world, but one that you might not even know you've been drinking. We're talking about the Macabeo grape. It is a total chameleon, a real cornerstone of Spanish winemaking that kind of hides in plain sight, making some of the country's most famous wines.
So that brings us to the big question, right? How on earth can one single grape make two wines that are, complete opposites? One is all fresh, bubbly, and zesty, and the other is rich, complex, and nutty. Well, the answer is all about its incredible versatility, from how it's grown to what happens in the winery.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this grape, first things first, we've got to sort out its identity. Because, you see, depending on where you are, this little shapeshifter goes by a few different names.
You could say this grape has a bit of an identity crisis. Over in Catalonia, everyone calls it Macabeo, and it's the absolute heart and soul of Cava. But if you head west over to Rioja, they call it Viura. And there, it's the star of those amazing aged white wines. And then, if you pop across the border into the south of France, it's called Macabeo. So yeah, three names, three very different places, but believe it or not, it is all the exact same grape.
And, this quote just nails it. Macabeo isn't just another grape. It's a fundamental pillar of Spanish white wine. Think about it. Without this one grape, two of Spain's most iconic wine styles just wouldn't be what they are today. It's a true emblem of their winemaking heritage.
So what's the secret? What's its superpower that lets it have this wild dual personality? Well, it all comes down to this incredible, natural resistance to oxidation. It's like it has a built-in shield that protects it from breaking down when it's exposed to air. And that one single trait makes it perfect for the long, slow aging needed for a complex white Rioja, but it's also what keeps the base wine for Cava so clean and vibrant. It's a total game changer.
But the story doesn't just start in the winery. No. Way before a winemaker even gets their hands on the grape, its whole personality is being shaped by the land it grows on. So let's take a look at how the terroir in its two most important homes really sets the stage. And you can really see the difference the land makes here. In Catalonia, you've got that warm Mediterranean climate, the limestone soils. It all comes together to give the grapes that perfect balance of ripeness and zippy acidity that you need for a fantastic cava. But then you go to Rioja, and it's a totally different story. You've got this mix of climates and way more complex soils with clay and iron. All that pushes the grape to develop this deeper, more structured character that's just begging to be aged. But in both places, lots of sun, a good breeze, and cool nights are absolutely key for developing flavor while holding on to that all-important acidity.
Okay, so now imagine those perfectly grown grapes have arrived at the winery. This is the moment. This is the fork in the road where a decision is made and this one grape truly splits into two completely different wines.
So, if the goal is Cava, the name of the game is preservation. It's all about keeping things fresh and clean. First, the grapes are pressed really gently to get only the purest juice. Then, that juice is fermented at cool temperatures in these big, neutral stainless steel tanks. That's how you lock in all those bright green apple, citrus, and floral notes. And then, for the grand finale, the magic happens. A second fermentation right inside the bottle. That's what creates those beautiful, tiny bubbles Cava is famous for.
But if we take the other path, the one that leads to aged white Rioja, well, this one is all about transformation. Here, the wine is often fermented right inside oak barrels, which immediately starts to build a richer, more complex texture. Then it spends a good chunk of time just hanging out in those barrels, soaking up all those delicious, toasty, spicy notes. And to really take it over the top, it's often aged sur lie, that's on its lees, which gives the final wine that amazing, creamy, full-bodied feel in your mouth. Two paths, two wildly different wines.
So, all this work, what does it actually mean for us when the wine is finally in our glass? Let's break down what you'll actually taste side by side.
It's like night and day. On one side, you've got your Cava and young Macabeo. You stick your nose in the glass, and bam! You get hit with vibrant green apple, pear, lemon, and white flowers. You take a sip, and it's just crisp, light, and zinging with refreshing acidity. But on the other side, you've got aged Viura from Rioja. Here, the aromas are all about toasted almonds, hazelnut, maybe a little honey and spice. And the palate, it's rich, full-bodied, with this beautiful creamy texture. One is all about fresh energy, and the other is complex and makes you want to sit and think.
So once you get a feel for these two different personalities, it makes pairing them with food so much fun. Let's talk about the perfect pairings for each style.
It's all about matching the vibe,
For that bright, high-acid Cava, you want to think light and fresh. That acidity just cuts through the richness of tapas like a dream, or it's perfect with delicate things like sushi or ceviche. But for that rich, nutty, aged Rioja, you need food that can stand up to it. We're talking roast chicken, creamy pasta dishes, mushroom risotto, or a beautiful platter of hard, flavorful cheeses.
So as you can see, Macabeo is anything but a one-trick pony. It's a grape of dualities, totally shaped by the land and the winemaker's vision, into something either brilliantly fresh or incredibly complex. So, the next time you see Viura on a wine list, you'll know. You'll know it's really Macabeo in disguise, and you'll be ready to discover its other amazing personality.